Hello, my friends. Welcome back to my Southern Kitchen. My name is Ellen. What is the #1 dessert and cake for spring and Easter? Carrot cake. So today I'm going to share with y'all a carrot cake recipe. Last year I made one from scratch and I'll post a link to that down in the description box below. This time we're going to make one using a carrot cake mix. We're going to doctor it up and it's going to taste like we made it from scratch. And my friends, it is so simple and easy to make. The bomb.com delicious. And we're going to frost it with the classic cream cheese frosting. Everybody's going to love and enjoy this. Perfect to serve at Easter dinner or anytime during the spring. And I'll post the complete recipe along with the instructions down in the description box below. Also check out my previous video, Fresh Cornbread Muffins. I'll also post a link to that down in the description box below. So grate up your carrots, grab your cake pans, and your carrot cake mix sugar because we're about to bake some carrot cake magic in my Southern kitchen. Here we go. Alright, my friends, the first thing we're going to do is grate our carrots. On my cutting board, I have 2 large carrots, and I know the cake mix already have carrots and spices in it, but adding this along with the spices we're going to add in later is going to take the cake to the next level, give it a great freshness to it. We're going to remove the tops and the bottoms. Now we're going to peel them. And we're going to save the peels for later. Now we're going to grate them using the large grated texture. Alrighty, I've got my carrots nice and grated. That looks great. Now we're going to set this aside. Time to make the cake. Let's start with the dry ingredients. In my medium bowl, we're going to add in 1 cup of cake flour, or you can use all-purpose flour. Next, we're going to add in our sugars, a 1/2 cup of white sugar and a 1/2 cup of packed light brown sugar. Our spices, a 1/2 teaspoon of ground cinnamon and a 1/4 teaspoon each of table salt, ground nutmeg, ground ginger, ground allspice, and ground cloves. And last but not least, the star of the show, the cake mix, and this is a 15.25 ounce package. Give it a whisk until it's well combined. You can also sift them if you like. Alrighty, dry ingredients are done. Now we're going to set these aside while we work on the wet ingredients. In my large bowl, we're going to add in 4 extra large eggs at room temperature. Into our eggs, we're going to add in 1 teaspoon, which is a cupful of pure vanilla extract. Next, we're going to add in a 1/2 cup of water and 2/3 of a cup of canola oil, or you can use vegetable oil. Whisk these all together, or you can use a hand mixer on medium speed or a stand mixer until it's well incorporated. Alright, my friends, now we're going to slowly add in the dry ingredients a little at a time. And whisk until it's well blended. Be careful not to overmix. Alright, my friends, our cake batter is done. I know it looks thick, but when we add in our last 3 ingredients, it's going to bring it back to life. Let's add them in. 1 cup of coarsely chopped toasted walnuts, or you can use pecans. And I toasted them on the stovetop for about 8 minutes until they crisp and warm through. A 1/2 cup of raisins. A 1 8-ounce can of crushed pineapple along with the juice. And the grated carrots. And fold them in. The cake batter is coming back to life. It is super moist. And I love my carrot cake nice and chunky. Reminds me of carrot salad. Alright, as soon as I get through folding everything in, I'll bring you back. Alright, my friends, I am through folding all my ingredients. See how nice and whipped that is? That looks great. I can smell all the spices and the vanilla. Now it's time to pour them into our cake pans. We're going to pour them into two 9-inch round cake pans, and I spray them generously with baking spray. So we're going to use our measuring cup, and we're going to scoop the batter and pour it into our cake pans. That way we'll get even cake layers. Alright, as soon as I get through scooping the batter into my pans, I'll bring you back. Alright, my friends, I've got all my batter into my pans. Now we're going to shake them and bang them to release the air bubbles. Alrighty, now we are ready to put them in the oven. Oven's preheated to 350 degrees. Going to let them bake for 35 minutes. And I'll bring you back. My friends, I smell carrot cake. I just taken them out of the oven. And it smells heavenly up in this kitchen. So now I'm going to let them cool in the pan for 15 minutes. Alright, my friends, it's been 15 minutes. Now we're going to take the cakes out of the pan. Here we go. Wish me luck. Gorgeous! They both came out nicely. And I placed them on some wax paper. Now we're going to let them cool completely. And while they're cooling, let's make that luscious cream cheese frosting. In my medium bowl, I have a 1/16-ounce box, which is a pound of powdered sugar. And we're going to add in a pinch of table salt. If using salted butter, just omit the salt. And whisk these together, or you can sift them if you like. So that way we'll get a nice smooth frosting. Alrighty, now we're going to set this aside. In my stand mixer with a powder attachment, or you can use a large bowl using an electric hand mixer, we're going to add in a 1/8-ounce block of cream cheese and a 1/2 cup, which is 1 stick, or 8 tablespoons of unsalted butter, and they're both at room temperature. We're going to cream these on medium speed until they're fluffy. Alright, my friends, now we're going to add in 1 teaspoon of pure vanilla extract. Again, that's a cupful. And mix that in. Alright, my friends, now we're going to add in the powdered sugar a little at a time. And mix. Alright, last of the powdered sugar. And keep on mixing. Alright, my friends, our cream cheese frosting is done. See how nice and smooth that is? Perfect. And the cakes are nice and cooled. Let's give them some sugar, shall we? I have placed one of my cakes onto my cake stand, and I lined it with wax paper for easy cleanup. So we're going to put some frosting right on top. And spread it evenly, like so. Alright, now we're going to take our second layer and put it on top. And again, add some frosting. And spread it evenly. Now we're going to frost the sides. Alright, as soon as I get through icing my cake, I'll bring you back. Alright, my friends, I am through icing my cake. Now there's a couple or more things we gotta add to it. We're going to sprinkle on some chopped toasted walnuts right on top. And remember the peeled carrots I was telling y'all to save, we're also going to put that on top. After all, it is a carrot cake. Okie dokie, now we're going to gently remove the wax paper. Just like that. Isn't that pretty? And there you have it, my friends. Semi-homemade carrot cake. Don't that look good? So now I'm about to cut me up a slice and then we'll give it a taste. Alright, my friends, I got my plate right here and I garnish it with some more carrot slices. Now it's time for the best part, the tasting. Here we go. Look at this texture. Excellent. Beautiful crumb. Look at that. Please have a bite. It's moist and I can taste the spices. Also the raisins, pineapple, and carrots. It just melts in your mouth. And I love the crunch from the walnuts. And there's nothing like cream cheese frosting. Honey, you can't tell this is from a box. Tastes like homemade. And it screams spring and Easter. This carrot cake is incredible, my friends. Please give this recipe a try. This deserves another bite. Yum-o. Semi-homemade carrot cake licious. My friends, many thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video recipe, please give it a thumbs up. I really do appreciate it. And for more Southern magic in my kitchen, hit that subscribe button and click on the bell so that way you'll be notified when my new videos come out. Also, follow me on social media, Facebook, Ellen's Homemade Delights, and Instagram at Ellen Delights. And please send me an email, ellenshomemade@gmail.com. I would love to see your beautiful creations with my recipes. And I'll see you next time. Let's eat, much love, and happy Easter.